Hi everybody, it's Susan from Sunrise Quilt Studio, and today is block number 3 for 2024. This one is called Next Door Neighbor, and this is the block. This is my sample. This is made with flying geese units and half square triangles with some single squares in there. So this one is easy to make. It measures 12 inches, and this is a 4-patch block again. So this one is going to go together pretty quickly. So I hope you'll stay with me, and I'll show you how to make the Next Door Neighbor block. And here are the fabrics you're going to need to make the Next Door Neighbor block. For A, you'll need 2 3.5 by 6.5 inch rectangles. For B, you need 1 4-inch square. C is 2 3.5 by 6.5 inch rectangles. D is 1 4-inch square. E is 2 4-inch squares. F is 8 3.5-inch squares, and G is 4 3.5-inch squares. And on these F squares here, you'll need to draw a diagonal line on the wrong side. So we'll go ahead and get started, and first thing we're going to do is to make flying geese units. First thing we're going to do is make flying geese units out of the A rectangles and the F squares. And then we'll do it with the C rectangles and the F squares. So this is going to be the same procedure for each. We're going to take the F square. It has the diagonal line drawn on the wrong side, and we're going to place it right sides together on the right side of the A rectangle. And this diagonal line is going to go from the top center to the bottom right hand corner. And I'm going to line these up and sew right on that diagonal line. Okay, and do the same for the next one. I'm just going to chain piece all of these together. It saves time to do it this way. Okay, now I'm going to get the C rectangles, and we'll do the same thing. Just kind of combining some steps here. I'm going to cut these apart, and then I need to trim off the corners. Now these are large pieces, so if you want to, you can stitch a 1/2 inch away from your stitch line here and cut between it, and then you'll have a half square triangle right there. But I am just going to go ahead for right now and just trim these off, and I'm just using scissors and eyeballing my 1/4 inch, but you can use, you know, a rotary cutter and a ruler. But this is what we have so far. And I'm going to trim all of these off, and then I'm going to press them open, and then I'll sew the F squares to the other side, trim them and press, and then I'll have all the flying geese done. Okay, so here are all the flying geese units. So here's the dark one. This is the A and the F flying geese. This is the C and the F flying geese. So I have 2 of each. And now I need to make the half square triangles. Okay, so I'm going to take the B and the E square, right sides together. Now this time we're going to stitch a 1/4 inch away from that drawn line to make half square triangles. And then here is the D square and the E square. So put those right sides together. We're going to do the same. Stitch a 1/4 inch away from the drawn line. I'll turn around and sew on the other side. Now I'm going to cut on the drawn line. Okay. So what we have are half square triangles. There's that color. And then here's the blue. So we have those. So I'm going to press these all towards the darker fabric. Okay, so I have these all pressed. I need to trim these down, though. They need to measure 3.5 inches square. So these are a little bit large, so I'm going to trim these down. The easiest way, I think, to put this block together is to put it together in quadrants, so 4 sections. So what we need to do is to make these sections, and I'm just going to stack everything matching on top of each other. So I'm going to start with the flying geese units, and they are here, and then I'm going to put G squares, which will be 2 G squares that will go right here, and then we need the half square triangles, and they're going to go like this. Now I don't have, these prints are different. You can make them the same if you want to, but since I am working with a layer cake, you know, I'm limited on the prints that I have and the amount of fabric that I have. So I just got, you know, colors that are close to each other and did that. So we need to sew these 2 pieces together in both of these sections and then sew them to the flying geese unit. And then we will sew all 4 of these sections together to make the block. So I'm going to get started, and we're going to start sewing these together. I'll press them, and then we'll add the flying geese unit. And in the diagram, they're going to look like this to you. So let me turn them around so you can see them a little better. So we'll sew these 2 sections together, and then add the flying geese, and the same here. These 2 sections and then the flying geese. And then we're going to sew these 4 sections together, and I'll show you how to do that once I get all of this sewing done. so now I've got all of the units done. So I have 2 blue ones and 2 of the peach ones. And now we need to put them together to make the block. So we're going to take one of the blue ones and we're going to turn it to the outside. Pink one, we're going to have it going up. This blue one is going to go to this side, and then this pink one is going to go down. So you have here in the center, you see you've got opposite colors meeting there in the center. So that's how the block goes together. So I'm just going to sew 2 sides together, these 2, and then I'll press that seam, and then I'll sew this seam here. Okay, so I've got points to match, so I'm going to pin those points and line all the fabric up. Get that in. I'm going to go ahead and pin the end here. And then match the points here. So we've got points right here to match to the flying geese point right there. So what I'm going to do is do my best to line those up. And all the seams are pressed the same direction, so they don't nest together. So I just have to get them together as close as I can. Let's see how we did here. Okay, so that looks pretty good. Those points are showing really well. Okay, that's better. Okay, so here we go. So I'm going to press these and then we'll sew the 2 sections together. Okay, I have the 2 sections together and I press these seams open, so I think that would be the easiest way to put this block together right here. So I'm going to match up that center seam and pin it, and then I have 2 more seams and I have points again to meet. So we'll go ahead and put the pin through the point on each side and then pin that and do the same here. Okay, here's the finished block. It turned out pretty well, I think. We've got the large flying geese units on the outside, the half square triangles on the inside, and this makes the next door neighbor block. And it measures 12 inches finished, so 12 and a half unfinished, and it goes together pretty quickly. So I hope you'll give this block a try. Okay, that is it for the next door neighbor block. So here we have the block in the Nutmeg fabric line by Basic Gray, and I think that turned out cute. And here it is in some Lori Holt fabric. So that's another pretty block too. So I am making samples for all the blocks this year before I make the video to kind of help me familiarize myself with them, and so I'll wind up with double the blocks by the end of the series here. So it's kind of a bonus. So anyway, that's it for the Next Door Neighbor block. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please click on that like button. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and click that notification bell so you'll be notified when the next video comes up. And in the meantime, I hope you're all safe and healthy, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching. For more quilting ideas, click on the video links, and to keep up with my latest projects, click on the subscribe button. I hope to see you again soon.